the show. The Pelicans beat the Washington Wizards again. They're competing for who's the tallest little person. The Pelicans went out. We got Lito in the building. We got Ross. I'm Cheddar Chaz. Let's talk about it.
First took away. That's the best. Get your money's worth now.
This program is brought to you by Scott Vicknair Injury Lawyers. Have you been injured in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore? Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give them a call, y'all, at 504-500-1111 for free. Yes, free consultation. They always fight for the win. There's a lot of interesting legal things going on in the sports talk arena. We're going to stay away from those.
Ooh, buddy.
Yeah, but hey, shout out to Theo's, man. Shout out to Theo's. Go get you a slice of pie. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Company Burger.
Hell, get a whole one.
Yeah, hey, go get a home. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to John Deere. No one runs like a Jordan. No one runs like a Deere. No one runs like a John Deere. Standard Mortgage, live up to the standard. Shout out to everybody. Hey, you know what that means?
Man, company Burger not gonna know what to do with themselves. Back to back.
They're like, shit, we already broke down the fryer.
Yeah.
Like we
come back on the tots orders months ago.
It's like, oh shit. Can you get a truck here tonight? John Napoli. Okay, Nap trying to get us in litigation out the gates. Shout out to Justin Napoli. See, Skip Bayless got a lot going on. It's funny, Skip is kind of making off like a bandit in this situation because nobody paying attention to Skip. Shout out to Skip, man. Come on the show, Skip. Tell your side.
1.5 million? Come on, man.
Hey,
I feel like I missed something. I will have to catch up on it later.
Yeah,
I feel like I missed something.
Yeah, you missed a lot.
Yeah, hey.
Twitter's a buzz.
Hey, we might all be working at Fox Sports TV soon. the way this is looking,
highly unlikely.
Yeah, they're gonna treat this like a pilot show. Yeah, so welcome to
What's Up and Welcome Back.
Yeah, you know,
where's Justin when we need him?
Yeah. So Pelicans get another dub. Doesn't really change much. I think we saw some promising things tonight against our Trey Murphy putting the ball on the floor tonight. You know, getting to the rim even when the 3-point shot wasn't falling. Of course, he leaves with an injury. Looked like a pretty scary ankle sprain. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, he takes his time coming back and gets to 100%. It's a shame because he was having a good game. What did you guys see from Trey tonight?
I didn't see the game, but what I read in the highlights, it seemed like Trey got this starting to have this shit figured out. I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying? He making connecting passes, he getting assists. Seems like he's evolving.
Okay. Ross?
Yeah, I mean, look, the 3-point attempts again. He's just like he's sort of. Which is crazy to say, I guess, because CJ just had 50 or whatever. But, like, I think he very quickly transformed his offensive game into, like, a lot more than just a floor spacer. And I'll be honest. I mean, there was a point where I thought, like, you know, maybe that was it. Yeah, it didn't seem like he had sort of the mentality to become a scorer. And what I'm seeing is him going from a shooter to a scorer. Like I said, yeah, I was watching. Definitely a nasty ankle. I mean, he rolled it pretty good, especially just the way going for that rebound. What was that? JV caught a little bit of JV's maybe heel or something.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate because he's been playing unbelievable. Again, mostly efficient. Starting to shoot the ball really well from three again. But it just overall, man, that's the best way I can describe it. This last month is I think he's a guy that you're seeing really come into his own as a scorer.
It's gonna be interesting how conversations go behind the scenes. Whether they want, I'm sure left up to the player. They were like, I'll put some dirt on it. I'll come back. But things have been treated kind of interestingly behind the scenes with David Griffin and player injuries. So we'll see what happens with that. And another great game by CJ. What did he put up tonight? Was it 25 on 6 3-point attempts? Man, shout out to CJ. Another great trade me game. This is a hell of a graphic. What's even more telling is that you really only won 2 of these games. But that's really the craziest part.
Yeah, that really is crazy to have this guy playing this well, and you just still, I mean, outside of two games against a team that just really wanted to lose more than you.
Yeah.
And they showed it. You know, good for them.
Man.
But CJ's been unbelievable. He has been unbelievable.
What do you make of CJ's shooting and just over general effort recently during this stretch, Lito? You think he's playing to get traded, or you think just him being a professional, this is what he does? I'm just show up and do my job.
I think it's a little bit of both. I gotta assume he's auditioning. I've heard him speaking. He said, you know, he continually wants to be here, which it sounds great, but when you're a player like him, like that's what you're gonna say because you got that kind of pedigree as a person. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's real. You being a politician in that moment too, because it's like, yeah, get me off this team, get me to a contender. I think at the end of the day, though, he just a bucket. He just been doing what he's done his whole NBA career. You know, nothing has really changed. Maybe the shot profile, because it's less middies and it's less drives, but now it's predominantly threes.
Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Please be sure to smash the like button, share the link, hit that notification bell also so you'll be notified when we go live. You understand me? Shout out to Tennessee. New member. I was rapping with my dog earlier. Yo, what's the name of Tony Soprano's nephew? I forgot. What was his name?
Christopher Moltisanti, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Christopher. Just thinking that. Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about the Zion Williamson of Sopranos? It would be Christopher Moltisanti. It like Jesus, this guy. But shout out to Tennessee. Like Christopher just couldn't be stopped. Shout out to Corey.
Couldn't get right. Look, there was some can't get right there.
Oh man, Christopher couldn't get right. Whoa, what up, Corey? Shout out to Corey. Shout out to everybody in the building. But Clay, that's what we meant. Like he just couldn't. Christopher was just a fuck up. Like it's just who he was.
He was like this. He was young and immature. Even though I feel like the show went on for 10 years. Like he never became not young and immature.
Right, and it's like.
Break.
They're like, Chris, we got to take you out at the beginning of this season, bro. We can't go through another season of your these happenings.
We gotta get you out of here, man.
Yeah, fuck that. Yo, so there's a lot of going on in the sports world. We talked about a little bit of it earlier. But of course, the Jimmy Butler news is like a cloud hanging over the NBA right now. Could potentially be the first domino to fall. Seems like Cam Johnson and some of the other guys have taken a bit of a backseat to that story. I'm gonna just come on next. Do you guys think the Pelicans should attempt to trade for Jimmy Butler?
No, because I ultimately don't think it serves any purpose. Like he wouldn't. I don't think he would opt in to as a player option, right? Like he's not going to opt into that here, and I wouldn't trust that we would then turn around and flip Jimmy Butler for more than you gave up to get him. Like it just seems like it would have to be one of these situations where like, what are you going to do? Try to keep him? Well, you're not going to keep him. Go ahead.
Now I wanted to ask you this because I posed this last time, just kind of throwing things out there just to make the trade work. If a scenario presented itself where you could get scenario presented itself where you could get off of Brandon and CJ's contracts and go into the summer with Jimmy Butler. Let's presume he opts out, right? Let's presume he opts out. He opts out, and you say, look, Jimmy, we'll sign and trade you to where you want to go. Do you feel like in a scenario similar to this on the board that's a risk worth taking? Like worst case scenario, you got this cap space. Best case scenario, he says, I want to stick around. I believe that, I could build something here with y'all. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, if you don't have to give up, if you don't have to like that scenario is not awful, right? Because again, for me, Brandon is totally a sunk cost. He is gone. I don't know what you could get for him right now. It doesn't seem like you can get much no matter what. So like the way I look at that trade is almost like you're trading one guaranteed year of CJ McCollum for a possible team option that you could get Butler to talk him, like maybe you talk him into it, or the scenario you just you just provided, where you kind of you try to work out a sign and trade. It's not the worst thing on earth, I guess. If you think there's any any reasonableness to him working with you in that regard, but I don't I'm very skeptical that Jimmy Butler would want to work with the team when he could just be a free agent and sign wherever he wants anyway.
Well, here's the thing, and shout out to Mark Stein again. Only Brooklyn really has the cap room to sign him outright. So really, no matter where he goes, it would be
a trade.
Yeah, it would be in his best interest to work with the team, to negotiate whatever his next move is going forward. But Alito, what do you think about a scenario where you bring on Jimmy Butler?
I would love to, but I don't. Like, I would love them to for my personal reasons outside of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would love to see how Jimmy would treat this locker room. I would love to see how he would have conversations with Willie. I would love to see him and Griff in a contract situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Jimmy might, for reasons outside of basketball, I think he might be the best thing that would happen to the Pelicans, because everybody would just have to cut the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
you think?
I think that he would. My hopes is that shit he did in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like that type of shit. I would hope it would either make somebody cry, get somebody fired, like light some sort of fire. I can tell you this: like, you can call it whatever you want. He a winner at the end of the day. And I mean, you talking about a dude, I don't think he ever averaged 25 points a game in his career, and he took a team to the finals twice.
Mm-hmm.
True. Back-to-back years.
Yeah, as their best player.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, but do I actually want that to happen because of the age, the contract situation, and the uncertainness of him returning to my team? No.
I think that's that for me, because I don't disagree with a lot of what you just said. I think the really tricky part, because the tricky part for me is when you come to the realization that, like, those Minnesota years are 8 years ago, almost 9 now. Like, that was 2017, 2018. And it doesn't seem to me like it was that long ago. Like, it seems like it was 3 or 4 years ago. Like,
time is moving. Yeah.
Time is moving. So, like, he now is a guy who plays around 50 games a year. Let's call it what it is. He's kind of become a headache a little bit, like, behind the scenes. Clearly, once he's gone to Miami, this will be the third team he's outside of. So, like, you're entering a situation where you really don't have much leverage at all. Basically none. And you have to be, you would have to be okay with this possibly turning into a situation where you're just getting out of salary. And maybe you're fine with that. Like, maybe, I don't know. I'm with you though. I think there's definitely positives of bringing in that type of personality with this group of young players.
I think I'm sorry.
No, I just don't know if Jimmy Butler is still that guy that went to Minnesota and then went to Philly, and then ultimately when he went to Miami, like, he's just a different dude now.
I think the perfect comparison for a situation like this is when Chris Paul was traded to OKC from Houston. No one wanted that contract. Chris Paul always getting hurt in the playoffs. Then he goes to Houston, and Harden just begins to hate him. So they say, all right, fuck it. We're going to trade Chris Paul. We're going to cast Chris Paul away to OKC. And I think Chris Paul is the main reason that he's the spark that lit the OKC flame, because he taught Shea how to win. He brought OKC to somewhat relevance during that time there. You know, they were gunning for the playoffs while he was there. So I just think he just brought in a different culture. He weeded out a lot of that perennial loser mentality. And I think with the Pelicans, again, you're really just talking. You see, to me, it's less about Jimmy Butler, the player, and it's more about Jimmy Butler, the asset, right? I think going into this offseason, if Jimmy Butler's a free agent and Brandon's a free agent, Jimmy Butler's still getting more money than Brandon, or even CJ. You know, I just think if you were to reroute Jimmy Butler, a team could convince themselves like, yo, that's the guy we need mentally to take us where we need to go. Even if him as a player, even if his best days are behind him, mentally he's still like, that's the reason the Celtics traded back for Al Horford. You know what I mean? That's the reason why you add a guy like, you keep Haslam on the roster. You know, Udonis Haslam on the roster. Just having that man's man pause, that alpha mentality in the locker room, who's not gonna take no shorts. He's not gonna deal with you showing up high. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna deal with you showing up super overweight. He's not gonna tolerate you being late to shit. Even if it's all a show and he really like just bluffing, he's gonna at least publicly cause enough bullshit. Like this motherfucker.
But you know what, Chaz? I hate to cut you off. That's the exact reason they're not going to trade for Jimmy Butler.
That too, yeah.
That's the exact reason that this isn't going to happen, because they don't like, because we ain't talking about just the players,
right?
The other people, the people that would have to sign off on the trade, don't want him or that.
That's true. That's like when we brought up Minnesota, Jimmy Butler called Rachel Nichols and had Rachel Nichols in practice, sitting down doing an interview with him while practice was going on, and he like, yeah, I don't know what their problem is. This motherfucker's crazy.
He did more than call Rachel Nichols, as I understand it, but
hey, allegedly.
Allegedly. He got that number.
Yeah, hey, sports is a dirty business. So we're gonna move on. I had put out there for some of the people, like, what do you, when you canvass the league, you look at Jalen Williams, you look at the Lou Dortz, or some of the second or third best players on really good teams right now, and you see the evolution of Evan Mobley. What do you think Trey's ceiling is? And by ceiling, I think it's easier to just give a player comp. Like, do you think he's let's say if the number one tier is Jokic, number two tier is Donovan Mitchell, number three tier is probably the Aaron Fox level player. Where do you think Trey's falls in that with his ceiling? Is it level 4?
Under
maybe under that tier, level 4? Okay.
Yeah.
Think like potential all-star type player.
Potential all-star type player. I think that's a perfect way to categorize him, because like while his game is evolving, he's still learning himself as a basketball player, because he's never technically been this good before. Even, I mean, you look, I think some of this is probably like a little bit of a shock to him. I could be wrong, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if he ever thought he would get to the point where a team maybe had the idea that he could lead them. Right. I can't really see him saying that. That he thought that might happen. But okay. I think when I think about a player like De'Aaron Fox, I think about somebody who could take over the game, a closer. Maybe not all the time, but his win shares would probably be higher than Trey's if Trey were the best player on your team at that point. Okay.
Ross, shout out to Clay. Clay said Trey's ceiling will never Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller's ceiling would be, I don't know, Clay. I think that's pretty optimistic. I don't know. What do you think, Ross?
Yeah, I'm really torn there, because the like skeptic in me wants to say that I think his ceiling is still like an elite role player, and not which in an elite role player is, maybe a couple all-star, an all-star game, a couple all-star games. So like that's not that sounds a little bit like a diss. I don't consider it to be a diss at all. Because once you get past that elite role player tag, for me, you're starting to talk about a guy that can, like, at least for periods of time, like, can singularly lead you to something, right? Like, I don't know that Trey is ever going to be a player that if Trey's your best player, you ain't winning anything. You're a lottery team. Perennial lottery team. I think if Trey is your like second best player, you probably still like a perennial lottery team.
Yeah, your best would have to be very good.
Would have to be very,
MVP
very good
caliber.
And so, like, in a weird way, I kind of think there's some similar. I mean, obviously not the same position, but like I see some similarities in CJ McCollum, like a player like that. very good shooter, professional, can do some secondary things, right? Like CJ can be a secondary ball handler. You might not want him doing that all the time, right? He's probably best utilized as a scorer, possibly even off the bench, but a very good scorer, scored 20 points a game for his career, has always been a very good shooter. Like a guy that everybody respects, everybody knows is very good. On any given night can go get 30.
What do you think about Chris Middleton? Chris Middleton has a lot more individual creation, but he's also not as tall.
Yeah, and I don't think he's as like gifted, like athletically as Trey either.
He's not as gifted athletically.
Yeah, just tough, man. Like because you haven't really. He's hurt a lot too. That's the other part that kind of he's been a bit brittle thus far. I think I would still give Trey elite role player tag.
Rashard was an elite role player.
Was an elite role player.
Yeah. That Lito, you muted.
That's my fault. I was saying that's my comp. That's my comp for him.
Rashard Lewis. Okay.
Like maybe not even the same impact, but the same kind of like play style a little bit. Especially if Trey start going more towards the post using his height. Yeah, I mean, I think he could fall into being a 1, maybe 2-time All-Star. I don't really think that's I mean, shit, Kyle Korver's an All-Star.
That's
that's different. Did Rashard Lewis ever make an All-Star game?
I don't think so.
Because
he was a Sonic first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. But shit, you had years where like I think in the West is where it gets a little clunky on the perimeter because how they do the front court players and things like that, or if they're still selecting all-stars by positions. Because fuck, Wiggins is still, they got that scam that they're doing out there with Wiggins. I think shit, if you look at Wiggins during that championship run, and in the finals, Wiggins, I don't think they win that finals without how Wiggins played. So I think if I look at if you could bottle up that caliber of performance for Trey and just say, yo, this is my ideal vision of you in a winning situation, like a guy who your three's not falling, you can defend, you can rebound, you can put the ball on the floor, get to the rim. I think one of the most, even though it's the Wizards, I keep that in mind, but he had 7 rebounds in the first quarter, had 11 and 7 in the first quarter, and you're like, damn, he probably gonna end this motherfucker with about 15 rebounds, but of course he goes down, and we don't get to see things brought to that come to fruition. Shout out to Alexis. She said she needed one more rebound for to hit her parlay. I understand, Alexis. I totally understand what you're going through. That's the worst. So,
Chaz, let me ask you this: He's a totally different type of player. So don't think play style.
Okay.
But do you think his ceiling in terms of like value could be something like Siakam, somebody in the right, like in the right team with the right coach or like offensive style could be a guy that could make, because I think Siakam's probably made 2 or 3 all-star teams, but is generally thought of as like a very high quality player. When he was the lead guy, the team wasn't very good, but now he's somewhere else. He's like a very good secondary player. Like I would never refer to Siakam as like a star.
I think it's a level below that just because I think Siakam's offense was a revelation because his defense was already so good.
And versatile,
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. To me, if Trey continues to put the ball on the floor and shows himself to be more than a shooter, that changes everything because the self-creation, you beating guys off the dribble, got the wingspan, you're going to continue to get stronger. To me, that takes the conversation somewhere like, yo, can you be Danny Granger? Can you be potentially, if you're solid defensively, like solid. Someone, you said Trey's a taller KCP. I don't know. I don't see that. KCP had won a couple rings, but so I don't know. And I think especially with Michael Porter Jr.'s back situations, I think the trade can be better than Michael Porter Jr. as soon as next year. Like truthfully, if he stays healthy, you feel me? So we just got to see. He said Danny Granger or Danny Green. Nah, Danny Green never really. Danny Green was a hell of a shooter, but you got to hope Hawkins turns into Danny Green. Danny Green was also a really good defender. So you brought up CJ Ross, and I'm gonna lead with you on this one. So of course Orlando loses again. We see Suggs, he's carted off the court, and what looks like to be a pretty significant back injury. Hopefully it isn't. What's some of the landing spots you see for CJ McCollum aside from some of the obvious ones we've named before, like Detroit or Orlando? Is there a dark horse out there we may not be thinking of?
I think there probably is. I'd want to I'm going to look through the teams because it's funny you say that about bring CJ back up because I was going to disagree with Lito earlier. I don't think CJ is a guy that's like playing for his next team. I think he's just an adult that this is how he plays basketball, and I don't think he's like out, itching or campaigning in that way. Like I don't know that he's. I mean, I don't want to speak for the guy, obviously, but I don't know that he would be mad about a trade just given his age and how bad the team is. But I also don't know that he's itching for one either. That's just my personal opinion based off what he said, what I think I know about the guy. But in either case, I don't see Orlando making that kind of move just given how many injuries they had. I'm not saying they're punting, but I don't think they're doing anything to damage what they see as a core group of players that they really like and can win with. I think it's going to be somebody else, man. You mentioned Cleveland, right? It's going to be a good team. It's going to be a good team because he doesn't make that much either in the grand scheme of things, right? This isn't trading for Jimmy Butler, who's got a $50 million price tag. You can find $30 million to match salaries if you're willing to give up a bit. And I think there is going to be a team out there. I think Milwaukee still makes a ton of sense. I think Cleveland makes a ton of sense. I think we probably talked about, so you got the Pacers here. The Pacers make a ton of sense. They just hadn't been very good. And then I know we've talked about it. I don't know if they would do it, but I think Memphis is the other one. They would make a lot of sense.
I'm sorry, Ross, go ahead.
No, I was say So those are the ones that. But I hadn't gone through and looked exactly at what those trades could look like.
You muted a little.
My bad. I'm having a Justin type game tonight.
Justin.
Rashard Lewis was a 2-time All-Star.
Okay. Hey, that's all you need. That's perfect.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be a hell of a career. People sleep on not everybody is a Hall of Famer.
Right.
You end your career with a couple playoff appearances, a couple All-Stars, you had a hell of a career.
I always
NBA champion.
Yeah. Wait, who he won a ring with?
He won a ring with
What? That would have to have been. Was it late in his career?
Yeah.
After the Orlando shit.
With the Heat, and did he end his career with the Heat?
Oh shit, you might be right.
I think. Wait, maybe he. But, yeah, they lost.
Yeah, they lost to Orlando.
He went with Orlando and they lost.
Yeah, Stan Van Gundy and them.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I compare a guy like that, even when people talk about Kwame Brown, it's bro, Kwame Brown played a long time in the NBA. Kwame Brown kept getting checks. So that's if you're an artist who you can go overseas and tour the rest of your career because you got albums full of hits, or you the band, you can go play all your B-sides for the fucking in London for the rest of your career. You did pretty good. You know what I'm saying? You might not have a Soldier Boy crank that hoe, but you might. But you got cuts.
The Pelicans don't have a multi-time All-Star on the entire roster.
Zion.
He's made two.
Yeah, he got two. But it's motherfucker, you don't even be playing like that. So you might as well not.
We taking one back.
Yeah,
you only got one All-Star.
Count.
You gotta play more.
But y'all coming up with a lot of good names in the chat, man. Be sure to smash the like button. People saying Miami. CJ got a Miami vibe, dude. Like I can see CJ opening a storefront in Miami right on Ocean after he retires. Some people say, like they said, what you said, Ross, Memphis. Yeah, so y'all throwing out some good names here. I mean, for me, and here's the follow-up question. Because I think the Pistons make a lot of sense, right? $15 million in space. Pistons and Cleveland, like my two teams. But do you feel like you have to send CJ to a contender? That's the question. Lito, you say you have to send him to one?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. Go ahead.
What do you mean by a contender? Like what non-contender do you see as trading? I mean, like, are you Detroit? Is that like the example you're using as a
to me, Detroit is about as low as you can go. And I say that because Detroit got a front office that he's familiar with. They got a look like who's gonna be a fucking all-star this year, and Cade. A team that's kind of winning. They're changing their ways. They're trying to turn a new leaf. But on the other side of it, you got a team who could potentially be interested. Not saying they are, but let's just say Cleveland, right? Hypothetically. If Cleveland calls and say, look, we'll give you 2 seconds for CJ, and Detroit say, look, we'll give you a first and a swap for CJ. Out of respect for CJ, where you send him?
Hey man, Detroit's beautiful this time of year.
Hey,
just gorgeous. You're gonna. I mean, I'm
like CJ. You're gonna love Beverly Hills Cop. He's like, hey, I don't know. What y'all think?
Detroit. I mean, and that's a.
So, let's say one first. Let's say one first.
Yeah. Go ahead.
One person, Stewart. Ross, you still say Detroit?
100%. That's if you. That's if you want to trade him. That's if you're wanting to trade him. I don't think the team is looking at it that way. I really don't, man. I don't like. What have they ever done that would lead you to believe they're going to make that type of trade for like? And when you're sending away that type of, they wouldn't trade Brandon Ingram this offseason, who is not considered from a respectability, point of view around the league, anything like a CJ McCollum, right? I mean, dude's the president of the Players Association. Like, this team typically doesn't act that way. And so I think, I'm not saying they wouldn't trade him to Detroit, but CJ would have to, I think, be like, yeah, no, I'm cool going to Detroit for a year and a half. And he look, CJ's an adult. He might say that's a team that is sitting at whatever they are right now, 8 or 9 seed. Mm-hmm. They seem to be improving, but so maybe they finish the year as a 6 or something. And hell, maybe I'll play really well, and we can, maybe we can win a first round series. Like that might be enough. I don't know. Right. But that's the only caveat for me. But if that's the deal that's on the table and you decide you want to move him, hey, if somebody's willing to give you a first, like an unprotected first for CJ, let's work.
Best wishes to you, CJ. Leo, what do you think? You think you have to send him to like a respectable organization that has a real chance to compete?
I feel like you do have to, and I hate that I feel that way. Just specifically with him, like if this was like Zion or Brandon, I'd be like, man, y'all go wherever. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But CJ, I feel like he tried to steer your organization in the right direction. Unfortunately, like you got dudes who just, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just didn't work out with the other two. But between them two, I think you gotta pay him his respect. And my fear is that somehow he gonna end up a Laker. I don't know how.
He only got 1 year left after this. I can see CJ opting out and taking the MLE somewhere like the Lakers, Clippers, get to finish your career in sunny California, chill out, business. Because a person like CJ gonna have a lot of business opportunities after he leaves because he's already working with ESPN. I'm glad you ain't working with Fox, CJ. You don't need your name in that. But CJ working with ESPN right now doing this thing. But see, there's other teams too. Like you see Minnesota, Ant begging for help right now in Minnesota. Like he's
Denver.
big. Denver. Like
Can't take Denver off the table. Like
you can't.
Denver's going to do something.
Yeah.
It just depends on like what level of like are you taking a big swing,
Right.
or are you trying to work around the edges and maybe get some help off the bench or something? But Denver seems like a team like you got Jokic. Like you until he's done, you do everything you can to try to win. Right now, like
you got to go for it until
you got to go. You just like that dude is so unbelievably good that you never stop trying. I mean, and you would think in their situation, right, like they could make the money work.
Would you take? Let me ask you this, because shout out to Booker Stat guy, because Minnesota, we was talking about this like before the season. If they call and say, "Look, we'll give you a combination of Dante and this hypothetically Naz Reid," or how we just saying it for the exercise of salary matching purposes. And they say, "Yo, we'll give you Dante and Naz Reid. Naz Reid's about to be a free agent for Brandon and or CJ." I think we all take that deal, right? Even if it doesn't have a lot of good pick compensation. So you got teams like that who they aren't necessarily bad places or bad teams, but it's like, yo, we get they are like bad players or bad teams. But it's like we looking at a minimal return if we send you here. Or even Golden State, right? Because Buddy Hield's been terrible. Schroeder's been pretty bad since he's been there. So I wouldn't put it past them to reroute some of the guys that they got on, I think Schroeder, Buddy Hield, and Gary Payton III gets them to about $30 million. If they call you with a package of Schroeder, Buddy Hield, and Gary Payton III being expiring, would you take that for CJ or Brandon?
No, I wouldn't.
That's too low.
That's just like that. I mean, yeah, that's scrap. That's scrap stuff. That's just like
not even for Brandon. You saying, Ross?
Nah, I'd let him walk before I traded him for that.
Okay,
yeah.
Because that's three. You said Schroeder, Buddy Hield, and who?
Schroeder, Buddy Hield, and Gary Payton is expiring.
Yeah, that's three trash. That's just trash.
Okay,
I'd rather just let him walk. I really would. I don't see that.
They gonna give you a first too. Now,
I am on record. If someone is willing to give you a first round pick for Brandon, I don't care if it's the Korean Jungle Cats. We're going. Right. We signing right then.
You're fucking out of there, pal.
Yeah. No, no. That's different. But that group of players, like by themselves, those are throwaways as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, Lito.
So it depends on the direction. I think we could all agree, or I think that once Brandon, once you move a Brandon or a Zion, like you basically resetting now, right? Like you're not
or reorganizing.
Okay.
Right.
So in that situation, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm bringing veterans in, that wouldn't necessarily be the direction you should go in, right? Because you should play into the young guys.
Let's say this. Let's say they say, you know what? We're gonna give you pods too. We're gonna give you because he having a really bad year. Terrible. And they thought he was gonna be like that second ball handler for them, and they're like, bro, we can't even play you some nights. So if they say we'll give you a prospect and pods for Brandon right now, like Kuminga off the table, we giving you salary and pods as your prospect and one first. You do it?
If I did do it, I wouldn't feel good about it. Like I wouldn't.
I'll take your money, but I ain't gonna enjoy spending it.
I don't know if I'm a sleep well at night. Like I think you got me. You know what I'm saying? Like
I would have to convince myself that Pies just having a bad year. Like that's but it's like, yo, this really might be.
We've all said that about a variety of we've said that about a variety of different scenarios in our lives.
It happens.
Fuck it, I'll do it, but I'm not gonna feel good about it.
So all right, with you got Cam Johnson out there, you got Jimmy Butler. I think once those two guys find a new home, right? Because to me, the Cam shit seems more inevitable than the Butler shit. Because I could still see Pat Riley saying, "Oh yeah," like yo, Pat Riley, stubborn motherfucker. We're gonna talk more about the Miami Heat in a second, but after those two dominoes fall, do you think Brandon follows immediately after Jimmy Butler, or would Cam Johnson have to move as well? Do you think moving Brandon is you have to be a part of the Jimmy Butler deal somehow as a third team? Like, what are you guys thinking? Because I think you have to be a part of that Jimmy Butler deal as a third team.
I don't know if Brandon will be the second player to move in that. I get your logic though. I mean, I think with the Pelicans, even if they were trading CJ, it would have to be more than one team involved. I don't.
Yeah, probably would. Yeah.
I don't think I would be able to do the deal without more than one team. I my thing is though, like I keep hearing there's not a market for Zach LaVine, and I understand. I see when I see Zach LaVine play, I'm always like,
it's the money, dog. It's the money. 40-something million. It's like, damn, Zach.
I don't think either of those players has any bearing on a Brandon deal. I
Neither.
Like, they tried to trade Brandon in the offseason and couldn't. And
like, but during the season, people get a little more desperate.
But you're still, and they are more desperate now. But now you got a player who isn't playing, and it's not like he was like setting the world on fire when he was playing. I just don't know how many like takers there. You know, like these other guys. Like there are teams that want Cam Johnson. Like people are calling.
Right.
Teams want him.
He's probably the most coveted player right now.
Yeah, like there are teams that even with Jimmy Butler's issues, like public issues now, like there are teams that want Jimmy Butler. Make no mistake. All of the reports make it sound like no one wants Brandon Ingram. Like I just don't know that anybody's calling. And I mean, we can sit here and hypothesize all we want, but like the dude's been on the trade block, publicly or privately
for a long time,
for the better part of like we'll call it 6 to 8 months.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't even sound like anything has been imminent. In fact, the Atlanta Hawks, I think, didn't want him. Like it sounds like there are teams that have actually been like, yeah, we don't, no, we want we don't want him. We want someone else.
Right.
I struggle to convince myself that like a team would strike out on Jimmy Butler and be like, let's check on Brandon again. Like they know he's available. If they wanted him, they'd already,
I think what hurts too is that it's like, bro, you're not even playing right now.
And you're not playing.
Like we're gonna run the DraftKings read, and when we come back, we're gonna touch on a few more topics. Then we're gonna open it up for y'all to call in, man. Prospect, he throwing potatoes and spitballs at people in public. He like, y'all open these damn lines, but we're gonna drop the read, y'all.
Open the lines for Prospect.
Yes, sir.
It's the most wonderful time of the year for getting in hoops, football, and hockey action at DraftKings Sportsbook. In the season of giving, we're being gifted college football and college basketball, pro football and pro basketball, and add pro hockey too, almost 24/7. And here's a gift for all new customers. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BOOT. That's code BOOT, BOOT, for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Happy holidays from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Hey, I got to shout out my man Prospect. Ran into him at his place of employment earlier today. Very hospitable, great guy, wonderful to the children. Shout out Prospect. Chaz was just goofing around.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm laughing at Corey and Buku and Wahab. Wahab is he go by a different metric system. So he's like, so Corey said my girl 5'3", 200 and something pounds, and Wahab like 90 kilos. He's like, God damn.
He said a different metric system. He just goes by the metric system.
Oh yeah, he goes by yeah. Well, over there, what's it called? It's like Royale with cheese. Wait, theirs is called the metric system, right? And what's our shit called?
Stupid bad math or something.
Yeah, bad math.
Yeah. It's either there with the Queen's English.
Right. All right. So someone asked us this and online. I put out, for some questions. So got Ace Bailey, who's strung together a few really good games. You got Cooper Flagg, who he's an empiricist. You got Cooper Flagg and you got Dylan Harper right now, right? Based on each guy, where would your priority be in selecting them, and what are you basing that priority on? Like, I'll start off with, I think Ace has the highest upside of this group. 6'10", can dribble a bit, can make a lot of difficult shots. He's a true 6'10". He's not like a motherfucker who's 6'7" with shoes on. He's 6'8" when you call him 6'10". Like, he's 6'10". I think he falls to the right organization. I think a dude like that goes to the Spurs, to the right organization. He's gonna be a killer. He's gonna be a killer. I just fear that the Pelicans ain't the right organization, and you're not ready to take on an experiment like that. If you still trying to win, you need Dylan Harper, because Dylan Harper, I think, is the most NBA ready, because I believe Cooper is the youngest. So if I would go by the players I would want, it would be Bailey in a perfect situation. Cooper Flagg.
Well, hold on. That's because this is a very different, like, and I know I'm sorry to cut you off. Are we talking about in the perfect situation, or are we talking about the Pelicans situation?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you told me we're gonna bring in a competent coach, and we're gonna put Ace Bailey with our best player. We're gonna lock in to Ace Bailey. We're gonna develop him. We're gonna dedicate resources to this guy, right? Mm-hmm. Even when we gotta hire fucking Rudy Gay or somebody like as an assistant coach, and all they do is work with him, then cool. I said you go for the highest upside play. Because when you're the Pelicans, you gotta go for high upside, because you're not ever signing no superstar in free agency, right? I think Dylan Harper is the most NBA ready today, but I think Cooper Flagg might have a bit more upside than Dylan Harper. So it gets a little clunky. If I got the number one pick, I'm taking Cooper Flagg. If I got number two, I'm probably taking Harper. If 3, I'm thinking Bailey goes without saying. What do you guys fall with that?
I think I'm gonna take it. It would be between Ace and Harper for me.
Okay.
I see Cooper Flagg, and I just don't know, like, what would separate him from dudes in the NBA. Like, he doesn't have the, like, nothing like is showing
extraordinary about him.
Yeah, like, he just a dude who athletic. He can handle the basketball a little bit. He dunk, you know what I'm saying? He got good vision, but I mean, I'm seeing flashes now with some games in college where I don't necessarily know if, would you say Cooper Flagg is the best player in college basketball?
I would say, I think he's one of the youngest, though, and that's why I kind of grade him on a different scale. I would say he does more to contribute to winning than Dylan Harper. But I think Dylan Harper individually is a better scorer, offensive player right now. But I would probably go with Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, and then Ace for me, then go ahead, Russell.
Yeah, I think it's like I would take them in the order that they're currently projected to be drafted. Like I would go Flagg, Harper, and then it's like it's a drop off for me for Ace. I think like not a drop off. I shouldn't say like.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, he's a raw prospect.
Flag has that, and like I'm sure I'm gonna get criticized for being like trying to get all Anglo-Saxon or whatever, but like Flag to me strikes me as you could basically plug and play him on any team, anytime, anywhere in the NBA. So like when we talk about being NBA ready, like I think because like almost for some of the reasons that you guys just listed as negatives are actually the reasons that he's the most NBA ready. Because I don't think he's going to be somebody that right away is going to need a ton of shots. I don't think he's going to be someone right away that's going to need the basketball a ton. Like he already does. It seems like he does some of those ancillary things without the basketball. Like he hustles, he rebounds, he boxes out, he blocks shots. He seems like he's going to be able to guard multiple positions. Like I think he is going to be playing. It's really about, do you think the long-term upside is a very good role player, or do you think the upside is like Giannis, right? Like, I'm just using those as like is the floor or in the ceiling. If you can convince yourself that, yeah, dude's 17 or 18 or whatever, maybe he grows another 1.5 inches, 2 inches, continues. He also has a body that looks like he's going to be able to put on more weight and become more physical. Things that, like, if you think that there's more there, because I think his floor is incredibly high. So I would take him first. I think probably the highest upside would be Dylan, and then Ace.
Would it matter to you?
The most fun, but
would it matter to you if Dylan wasn't 6'6"? Like, let's say because if he's 6'3" and he turns into Donovan Mitchell, that's a very good player. Also, Tyrese Maxey, but like out the gate, it's like if you come into camp and you really,
I'm worried.
You be worried about it
if he shows up at 6'1", you said.
Oh, just that he's not 6'6". If he's 6'3",
yeah, I'd be a little worried. But it wouldn't totally, because of his play style from what I've seen. And I've just now started to watch college basketball, so give me a break. I tell you, I don't start watching college basketball until after the new year.
Right.
It wouldn't worry me unless it was like real. Unless you told me it was like, real short, 6'1", and like had short arms or something. It was like, and he wasn't, and then he jumped like 32 inches or something, like something. Unless it was just all bad, right? But I mean, there's plenty of guys now because he's not that much different than like a Brunson, right? And it took Brunson a handful of years.
Left-handed too, yeah.
Which is awkward. Nah, I don't.
And to me, that's why it's always been like, if you're looking for an immediate contributor, I think Dylan playing on ball, leading the second unit, he's going to be ready to give you something immediately. Like, probably in a shorter term than a taller, awkward Ace Bailey or Cooper Flag. But Cooper Flag strike me as a motherfucker that can average a triple-double type. Like, he's one of those type players. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he'll throw in maybe 2 blocks for your trouble. Like a do-it-all type guy. Like, even if he doesn't, like
Franz Wagner or something. Like, it seems like at worst, like not at worst, I shouldn't say that, but like, it seems like that's kind of almost the floor a little bit. Is like,
if he became super Alonzo Ball, if he became like super Alonzo Ball or some shit, then you'd be like, it's a pretty good player. Like, but
like, even if like the shooting never really comes around or anything, and he just ends up being this dude who averages like 19 and 11.
If he became Sabonis,
like Sabonis, yeah, or something.
Yeah, you're ecstatic about that.
Yeah, that's why I say it just feels like his floor is so high because of those other things and because of his size. Like,
Who do you think is better, Keontae George, or who you think will be better, Keontae George or Dylan Harper?
Keontae George, is he with Utah right now?
Yeah.
Dylan Harper gonna be better than Keontae.
Dylan Harper, I thought comfortably.
But see, I get to say that because I've seen Keontae in the NBA. So
that's true.
That's the only thing. Yeah. Like, shit, I thought Johnny Davis was gonna be all right. Johnny Davis holding on by a thread, man. He holding by a thread. All right, so I felt that way about Ben Mathurin too. But okay, so how if you were the Pelicans right now, how would you guys build this out? So are you going and we could drop the link also, so you guys can call in and give us your perspectives. So are you going into this off season? Let's just presume Brandon's gone, and CJ will, if he isn't already gone, he's going to be gone. But Zion's here. Are you going and are you drafting or going into this offseason like, I want to get some serious talent on the roster and I'm going to have a top pick? Or are you just saying, look, we just building toward the future at this point? If I could get 2 picks in this draft, if I could just get multiple young guys in the building, we just pulling the plug on this whole experiment. What are you guys doing this offseason? Oh, we got Zion in the building. No, man. But go ahead.
For me, I'm gonna do the latter. I'm gonna go towards
straight youth.
Like,
okay,
Zion not ready to win.
Right.
Like I can't depend on him to be the leader that the team needs, whether that be on the court shit or off the court shit, which really I don't even care about that. But like on the court, you're not really vocal, that I know of. You don't show up, you don't do the leadership type things, like be available for certain things that the team needs you for, whether that be treatment or practice or just being on top of like the main thing that has you in the NBA, your body. Like you can't believe in it enough to stay in shape. Like we got to keep restarting this. So we're going towards you, man. And I ain't gonna sit up here and tell you I wouldn't look at whatever I give for Zion.
Ross?
I probably, I think we've said this a few times, or at least I have. I probably stop short unless somebody like wows you with an offer for Zion. I don't just totally rip the entire roster apart. I mean, if you're talking, like I said, Brandon will be gone. And if you moved off of CJ, I don't know how much that would affect like the long-term upside. But I would absolutely be trying to get as much youthful talent as possible. Not like meaningless talent though. Like I'm trying to give you an example of like I don't want to be the Wizards.
What's your cutoff age? If you're
not
going
an
into
age,
the offseason?
Yeah, it's not an age thing. It's like a status thing, right? Like I don't want a project.
Okay.
Because for me, a project is different than like somebody who just needs like more playing, like more time. And I don't know if if that makes perfect sense, right? But like, like a project is somebody that you're trying to figure out what they are at the NBA level, versus somebody like Trey Murphy that's like he really just needs to develop his skill set that we already know is NBA ready, and just needs more playing time or something like that. So it's for me, it's like I just don't want a project. Like, even if that project has a huge upside, right? And there are plenty of players out there like that. That's just not what this organization has shown that they're good at.
For me, I would do kind of similar to what they did this offseason. And I don't mean just figure it out. What I mean is I would try to consolidate some of the assets I have to go get real talent. Now, the DeJounte Murray shit didn't work out, but the thought process made sense to me, right? I wish they would have already moved that Bucks pick that they had when the Bucks were tanking earlier this season, but of course they laid $1 short. But I would look at teams that may be blowing it up. I keep mentioning Phoenix. I look at Phoenix. I would look at a couple other teams that's like, yo, your best player is probably, available. What would it take for me to get that best player? Because I would move Zion to the point of, I think you would be the second best player on a very good team anyway. And so now I need to go find my first best player, be it through the draft or through trade or through whatever. And that first best player got to be reliable. So who is that person? And that's how I would enter this offseason. While you still got the salary, while you still got the picks, because once you start making these picks, it's worthless. Like it's over. And yeah, man, I think a lot of guys today even tonight in this game or the last few games, they have not done themselves any favors. And both of their names start with H. So we got Dr. 318 in the building. Doc, what's on your mind, brother?
What's up, Doc?
What's happening, y'all? Look,
What's good, Doc?
What's up with you, brother?
Man, appreciate y'all on the show, man. Y'all do a great job. Y'all gotten better over time. So look, it's been
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Anytime. So I don't know, man. I think a lot about this. I think I'm kind of with Chaz. Like, I think we got some good talent, like some good front end talent. People like DJM. You know, I think the starters should just be DeJounte Murray. I think you get the young people a chance. So you bring in Hawk as the 2. You let Trey Murphy run the 3. You got Zion who could be a team leader, but the problem is he inconsistent with the health. But if you can draft somebody like a Cooper Flag, they kind of can be backup and take a little bit of pressure off each other. And then you got a nice young piece like Eves who's seeming like he fitting in well at the 5. But then I think the biggest thing missing from this team is kind of going back to what we was last year. The second line was the people who came in with the energy. They came in. Our stars was inconsistent with the energy, but the second line came in like, y'all need to step it up. And they always brought us where we needed to be. Now, if you look at it, though, our bench is trash. You know, we still got Jose. And I would say even Boston has earned the opportunity to stay on the bench. But then it's like, who after that? We got Daniel Tice. Did you see what happened to Tice with your boy Jonas today? It was embarrassing. Like he hit him and he just it was embarrassing. But to your question, I think the strategy should be get the highest end talent you can get in the draft, but then you get all the picks you can get for like maybe second round. I got the kids like y'all be having the kids, but and then take those second round picks and hopefully you can land 2 or 3 guys like the Herb Joneses who can be that second line and really bring the team back to what it used to be. So that's how I do it.
And I think even if they don't get a first, I think that's what they're looking for in a CJ trade. Like I think to where they're going with the salary cap, because like Trey Murphy, it's about to be a $20 million like raise next season, and you still got to fill out the bottom end of this roster. I don't think Brandon Boston getting no veteran minimum. I think he's gonna get at least $3-4 million with Clutch being his representation. So now you really got to find some cheaper back end talent. Like you said, Javonte was a miss. Daniel Tice been a miss. It's just all been a miss, man. So I think you hit the nail on the head, fellas. What y'all thinking?
I agree, but I got a question for you. Do you think, like Chaz just said, DeJounte missed? Do you think DeJounte can turn his season around? Like,
oh my bad, Javonte.
Oh, Javonte. Oh,
but go ahead with the Devontae. I mean, Javonte question. Yeah, that's a good question too. Go ahead.
Do I think DeJounte could turn his season around?
Yeah.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with DeJounte. And honestly, I don't think any of these guys should be given too much effort. I think we should continue to lose. I think the worst thing you can be in any league is halfway. It's like the Saints being 5 and whatever. It's like, why would you win those 2 games? And now you're like picking a guy who's not top tier, who's not going to help you get over the hump.
Right.
But I think these guys, the biggest thing they should do now is just worry about staying healthy. I think you all hit on this point early in the year. We need to see what these young guys are, what they bring into the table. We need to finally understand, is Trey Murphy the guy? Can he be the 2? Or is he definitely destined to be 3 or 4? You know, can Hawk stay healthy? We need to answer those questions. So we need to get these guys. DeJounte, I think y'all said it last show, the league knows what DeJounte is. Everything with DeJounte now is coach. It's not DeJounte. He's been the most consistent pro kind of throughout his whole year with a couple of spikes, but we know what he is. We know what he can do. The biggest thing is for us to get a coach in here who can coach the team to where they need to be. There's some awesome coaches in college we really need to consider. But I also find it interesting, if you look at the last 2 games with the Wizards, we've run more offense, and it seems like we intentionally didn't run any offense before that. Like the guys are just around the perimeter, had a 3-point shot. Nobody was moving, but now we're moving. We're running screens. I think it's almost intentional. The organization is intentionally running or not running what they want to run for the sake of winning or losing. But I still don't think Willie Green has the offensive creativity, nor the let's say media savvy to take this team where it needs to be. We need to find our own version of Sean Payton for the basketball side, and somebody with some personality to match the team and just kind of like put us where we want to be. I watched the Broncos tonight just because of Sean Payton. I don't care about the rest of it. You know, the coach matters from a culture standpoint and a media marketing standpoint just as much as the players do.
Thank you, Dr. U18. We're going to get young prospect on. Speaking of the
coach.
coach.
No problem. Appreciate you, boys.
Appreciate you, brother. Yo, that was a good point you made. Yo, what do y'all, the prospect about to bring you up? What do y'all think about Chris Quinn? Guy who's been with Spoelstra for about 10 years now. Started out as player development, been his lead assistant coach for this entire time in Miami. Was born in New Orleans. Not that really matters, but former player. And when Spoelstra was out and Chris Quinn took over, like half of them is interviewed as saying, "Oh, he just does everything Spoelstra does." Like Quinn is quoted as saying, "Look, we got a system. There's nothing's wrong with our system. I'm just going to run the system." So do you think if you brought him here, you would have diet Spoelstra, or y'all just want like a real a real professional, like experienced coach? Like, what do y'all say before we got no prospect on?
I'm glad you called him diet Spoelstra and not vanilla Spoelstra.
Oh yeah,
just giving. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for your question. My only fear, man, this is my only fear is if you're going to go with another first-time head coach, you got to be right. Like you got to be right. Yeah, like and maybe Chris Quinn's the one. I don't know. But if you're going to go with another first-time head coach, you know you're taking there's some risk, I think, associated with that.
Especially since you just went through that.
Yeah.
And he's relatively young, like he's
like 40, 41.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So how many years has he actually been on their bench?
I think he's been on about 10 years. Let me see.
Has he really? Damn.
Yeah. He started in player development, and I think the difference between him and Willie Green is that he's been the second in command in a really good organization versus I don't really know what the fuck Willie Green was doing.
Yeah, I don't know where they pulled Willie Green from.
Yeah. But he's hold on. Go ahead, one of y'all. What y'all saying?
I would be worried. I wouldn't you want him to bring that culture here. But I just feel like he would have so many hurdles to climb, especially being a first-time head coach. I don't know if he get around that and into implementing his message. I don't know if it will have an effect.
Okay. Well, we see it say he was hired by the Miami Heat in 2014. So a little over 10.
Yeah, so 10 years, yeah. Yeah, it's always tough to know whether he's like has he done anything to like help, does that culture travel with him? You know what I'm saying? Like supposed to have been there a lot longer than that.
I think you got him, Aaron Miles. You start getting the winners in the building, and then you start like kind of pushing out the other guys. I don't know. Prospect, what's happening with your homemade?
What up, Prospect?
What up?
How you doing, brother?
I'm chilling. First, I want to send some condolences to everybody who was involved in the little New Year's Eve incident, first and foremost. But after that, with the Chris Quinn situation, I 100%. Well, I ain't gonna say 100%, but for the most part, I disagree with you, Chaz.
Okay.
I think him being from New Orleans is one of the main reasons why you should hire him. I say he would care more. You know what I'm saying? He knows the struggle like in the city. I'm sure.
Prospect. I don't know if he like from New Orleans. He might be from New Orleans, kind of how Fox from New Orleans, because he went to high school.
Born here, but not.
Yeah,
really
I think
because
he went to high school at
in Ohio.
Yeah, in Columbus.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I ain't know that. All right.
But I don't know. He could have grew up stealing from Kansas. He might still be New Orleans. Like, go ahead though.
He might still have it in his blood. Don't even know it. All right. But as far as like with the rebuilding the team idea, I feel like they should trade BI for a bunch of role players. Get the bench back, because like last dude said, like Doc said, that's one of the biggest problems. The bench ain't playing how the bench was playing last year. Not even a little bit. like Javante is horrible. even when they signed him and I got the notification, I was like, why? Why? Y'all should have kept Najee. That's what I was like. Y'all should have kept Najee. And I ain't gonna lie, Tice faked me out. He did good in the FIBA, so I was like, Tice might be decent. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, I was goddamn wrong right there.
So what? I mean, they found Brandon Boston. Do you think Brandon Boston kind of lessened the sting of missing on the Devontae Green?
No.
Okay.
No, because it was an accident.
Right.
They didn't purposely sign him. Like, is he even still signed to an official contract, or he's still on a two-way deal?
He's still on two-way.
See, that's what I'm saying. It was an accident because it's still like, even though right now he outplaying Javante, he's still like, all right, keep doing it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's
Prospect,
like they're not like,
this.
I believe you yet.
Prospect, you think he gonna get a real contract?
If he do, they gotta cut that cane. I don't know why that boy's still around here. Running one time, like I don't know why that boy's still around here, bro. He gotta go. Like, is he even hurt or what? You getting like,
from the home with serve packs and things. Quick to stab their brother in the back for change. And as a youngin', I was taught the game. Used to watch my daddy while he cut that cane. See it.
Oh man, hits. go
yeah,
ahead,
bro. That's crazy, bro. I don't even like. It's a couple players that's on the roster, and I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, I want the Pels to get Monty Bates so bad.
I think I saw you mention that a couple times. Monty Bates in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, that's why I was like, if they send CJ or Brandon to Cleveland, you have to get Imani Bates back. It's like with certain teams, I feel like with certain players, you got to get that player back in the trade if you trade with them.
Okay, because to me, Imani Bates will fall into that prospect category. Y'all all agree with that?
I agree.
Okay.
Is he even? He not playing though?
But
it's more about the cost.
He gets some run every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because now Max Strus back, so and they playing Levert, so they kind of like got Monty to the back of the rotation if he plays.
But for me, I would rather them trade BI to them and keep CJ. So CJ will hypothetically be able to teach Imani Bates if that trade was to happen.
Okay. To me, that makes sense as well. It's like when you bring in a young guy, you kind of want a veteran with the patience out, because CJ kind of been a teacher here the entire time. We don't really hear much about it, but who knows how much he's helped Trey kind of develop and get some of his confidence behind the scenes, because we've always kind of seen Trey figure it out down the line, but even after a shooting slump, but we've never seen him to this point, the way he's putting the ball on the floor confidently and he's attacking the rim. He added the floater to his game. So that's another good point. But Prospect, you got anything else to say? I pass it to Corey. What else on your mind, brother?
One last thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to give y'all props, bro, because I mess with y'all, bro. I wanted to give y'all props, though, dog. Y'all the best pie out here doing it. I watch y'all after every game, even when y'all don't post after games. When it's just the shit y'all post on the in-between days. So I just wanted to give y'all props,
brother.
bro.
Thank you, Prospect.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you as well, man. Appreciate all y'all for supporting the show, especially during the season like this, because these dudes stink.
It's terrible, bro.
These dudes suck. It's hard for us to be here right now, boy. Dude, you can't even celebrate a win. You beat a bum. But
they took my joy away.
Yeah, I gotta go find my smile again, man. This is crazy. What up, Corey? Shout out to you, big dog. What's happening?
Wow, what's up with y'all?
What's up, Cole?
Say, look, I just want to say this here. Look, this whole operation, you hear me? It's like PEMDAS. Like you can't skip steps. We worry about the draft, dog. We need a new coach first.
Yeah,
you gotta get Willie out of here. You gotta then you move to the roster. The people that's here that don't need to be here, get them out of here. then you start looking towards the future. You hear me? Like, in my opinion, I think we need to go the OKC route, dog. Like, what they oldest player probably like 28 or something, dog. Like,
probably. Who would it be? Kuzma at this point? Kuzma? Not Kuzma. What's homie?
Your boy, the white dude.
The dude who looked
Caruso.
like he looked like a thumb.
Caruso,
that's his name.
Yeah. I just think we can't skip steps, dog. Like, I don't trust this organization far as drafting anyway, dog, because I done seen too many Kyra Lewises and Jackson Hayeses. Like, you low-key fumbled the number 1 pick, dog. At this point, it's looking like you should have went Ja Morant. So I don't know if I trust you with a high lottery pick anyway. So I think we need to get young talent, but at this point, I'm kind of looking towards people that's already in the league, or like, I don't know. I just think focusing on the draft is kind of like hustling backwards.
That makes sense, because I think for what you're saying, Corey, and I think a lot of us would agree, is that the Pelicans ain't as close as we were led to believe. We might have thought we was a healthy season or 2 away, or like, a role player here, where it was like, nah, you're probably multiple stars away from being like the real deal. I watched the impact Lou Dort had on the game tonight versus Boston, and I'm like, I don't know, man. That's all. I'm not trying to throw nobody under the bus, like who active on the roster, but it's levels to this, man. It is levels to this. This is how Caruso looked to me. He looked like Prometheus.
I was about to say, is that Prometheus?
No, I hope he don't got alopecia, because that's fucked up. I don't mean it if he do. I'm just saying that's how he look. Richard Jefferson looked just like that too. But anything else in your mind, Corey?
Nah, man, just shout out to y'all for always coming through. Like I say, like my dog Prospect said, bro, I ain't even watched the game. You hear me? I was at work, but I still pulled up to the stream. So shout out to y'all, still coming through even during this franchise worst season, dog.
That's love, dog.
Thank you for pulling up. Thank you, dog. We appreciate you keeping track up with. We appreciate you with the likes as well, brother. Keeping track of that. All right, dog. Be safe, man. We gonna get to the start questions, and we gonna get out of here, man. Out the gate. Shout out to Justin Napoli here. He said Skip Bayless is a freak. It's not really a question, but okay. Shout out to Nap. We got our dog Tennessee. How you say that last name again, Ross?
Multisanti.
Tennessee Multisanti became a new member today. I was rapping with him earlier. Shout out to our dog Tennessee, always supporting the channel. We got Joey Silva. Shout out to our dog Silva. He said, y'all okay if we draft Ace Bailey or Trey Johnson? I think talking about Trey. I'm fine with either one. To me, Trey Johnson remind me a lot of like he remind me of like Buddy Hield, kind of like he gonna just kind of be what he already is right now. He'll be it consistently, but I don't know if you draft that. I don't know. What y'all think?
I'm not familiar with Trey. I ain't gonna lie.
He played for Texas.
I don't really. I gotta watch Trey play, and I'm gonna get back to you. But I'm gonna say Ace.
Ross.
Yeah, I'm with Lito. I don't know much about Trey Johnson, but if you're deciding between those two, I mean, look, Ace Bailey got a high ceiling.
Man, I think Trey could end up like Simons or somebody, but I gotta go with the high upside playing Ace. All right, we got out of Cooper and Harper, who works better with Zion?
This is a good question.
It's a very good question. Y'all want go ahead?
That's a good question.
Go ahead, Lito. You look like you're about to. You look like you had something ready.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I don't know.
I think.
Go ahead. So it's interesting, right? Because you would think one's a guard, and in theory should work better. Yep. I like the idea as if you had the option of drafting Cooper with Zion, because I can envision a scenario where Cooper does get to 6'11", continues to like grow and fill out, and is a guy that can play like when we talk about small ball center, like that wouldn't even really be a small ball center. That would be like the Giannis version of when he's playing center. I think that could work. and it's also, somebody mentioned in the chat earlier, like it's also the ultimate hedge against like this whole Zion thing being a failure.
Right.
Like you immediately just step in, and now you're talking about Trey Murphy and Cooper Flagg playing together. That seems to work. So I like the idea. It's not so much who works better with him. I think they can work really well together, but it's also that you then have like that next phase, and you can just maybe go from one to the next. I think Harper would work with just about anybody.
I think I agree with Ross. What it's like, yeah, I think Harper can work with anybody. I think Cooper as well, but I also think Cooper does the things that Zion doesn't do.
Yep.
And I think that kind of adds a little more value to him. Whereas like I think this is still a wings league or a larger perimeter players league. I haven't seen a team with like an elite guard win at a very high level in a long time. So I'm still inclined to kind of go with Cooper, but I think I wouldn't be mad at either selection, truthfully. We got Tennessee back in the building. He said, could we get Nash Reed from Minnie? Honestly, I think they would trade Nash Reed for Brandon. If they was willing to trade Cat for him, I'm pretty sure they would trade Nash Reed for Brandon.
That's true.
And he's about to be a
contract. Yeah, contract they're going to get to a point where like he's going to be the only movable asset. Really.
And they taking some bad losses. I don't think Nash Reed is helping teams not double Anthony Edwards. So I think they ready to move on from that. Clay said BI to the Pistons makes sense to him. I love it. The Waldorf sounds nice. Take us there.
Who you getting back in the deal?
Give me Stewart. And you got to get it to the point where they only taking back like $15 million. Give me Stewart and Nassar. If I can convince you to give me a Stewart and Nassar, let's do it ASAP.
Right now,
right now. Stewart and Nassar.
Right now,
Stewart and Nassar and one first. That's all I need. Stewart and Nassar one first.
Yep.
So let's do that. See, do we have the Bucks first this year? It's top 4 protected. So basically no. Brady. We got Clay back, and he said, who do y'all think that anonymous GM was who said they would risk it all for Zion? I assume they would take whatever their all is for Zion. And this was an Eastern Conference GM, I believe.
I think so too. I saw that and asked myself the same question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought about it, Chaz? Who do you think?
When it first happened, I thought it would be a team like I think it'd be a team. I can see Trajan saying that. He's not the GM, but I can see Trajan always had a good relationship with Zion. And it would have to be a team to where they know no one's ever going to just sign under their own free will.
That's why I immediately thought like Charlotte or Washington.
Washington,
or like
Charlotte.
Toronto. Like
I think even the Nets. I think if you call right now and say, "Yo, we give you Zion," they were like, "Let's do it."
Yeah, it seems like it would be the Nets makes a ton of sense too, right? Because it's a team of like that in theory has a market that can support a big personality.
Mm-hmm. Lito?
No, I mean I agree. I agree with everything y'all said. To be honest, I really can't see that happening no other way.
Yeah, like it wasn't the Celtics.
Yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't the Knicks.
Yeah, well, I would trade Zion for Booker. See, that's the one that kind of gets me because I'm like, the only reason I say that is because how the fuck you do that? How'd you do that just now?
Dude, wait, hold up, man.
Wait, we see something?
Hold up, yeah.
What the fuck? Yo, that shit crazy. Oh, it did it again. Wait.
I don't know.
Oh, that shit is crazy.
I wonder if it's because I'm white. Hold on.
Well, Ross, yeah. If we going down the color spectrum,
no, what's this doing? That's what I'm saying, Chaz. You right on the cusp.
Yeah, and I've been in the sun.
So I don't know.
Oh, what the fuck? Yo, that's crazy.
Wait.
Yo, we ain't got like cavemen on this bitch right now.
Nah. This dude knows something. We don't
got
know.
Some kind of setting.
He's been holding out on us, bro.
Yeah,
we got to talk.
I'm trying, but the only reason I say that is because, man, look, I bet he know how to do it. Let's see.
Hey, give him 2 thumbs up. See if this works real quick. Give him 2 of them. No, it ain't working.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm like, nah, that shit worked just now. I was about to say, what kind of? Oh, what the fuck is this? All right, yo, we acting crazy. Hold on, we tripping now. All right, so, yeah, I don't know how I would think about it though. I would definitely think about it, bro. And see, we need John Gruden to coach. You know what? If John Gruden wasn't terrible, I would like that picture came out with John Gruden standing next to Derek Carr, and everybody was scared. It was like, yo, it's like the Avengers of terrible shit.
Nah.
Like, please, y'all don't all get together.
I remember that. Yeah. Nah, I agree with that though. I agree with that. I think you got to have a little racism. Like
that's why I wanted. I don't know Chris Quinn, but that's why I wanted Chris Quinn. I don't know them, but I want somebody who's like, look, when Jimmy Butler was about to fight Spoelstra, Chris Quinn had to be standing right there, like he's the head assistant. So I want somebody who's been working with coaches that's used to saying, "Man, fuck you," or go sit like you get the fuck out of here. Like not like, yeah, not like that, not like that. Speaking of which, I'm glad you brought that up. You know, do a lot of charitable things on this show. I got these shirts, and it's for a good cause. The tears are still dry on his face. This is not Willie Green, by the way. It's not Willie Green. This is an original oil painting. I had these shirts all hand painted. Get a shirt, man. Get a shirt for the kids. Red, white, and blue with Patriots on the shirt. We still got David the Dunce shirts available. Y'all holler at me. Let me know what's the haps with that. Get back to these start questions.
Tell them where to find them. You got to tell.
Oh yeah, you got to go on Bonfire. I'm gonna put the link in the joint, man. Put the link in the joint. Pause. That sounded crazy. Denzel Horton.
This why.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was about to say this why they keep them people keep saying y'all lost y'all credentials because y'all just keep crossing the line. Yeah,
what kind of whore ass attitude is that? I do what they tell me. Look, I started off wiping floors just like you guys. Now I'm washing lettuce. Pretty soon, I'll be on fries. And then I'll be assistant manager. In 2 years, that's when the big bucks start coming in. Like, motherfucker, please.
Oh, man.
Anyway, people work on Twitter trying to tell us how to run a business. Anyway, Antonio Daniels will be a nice coach here. He another Willie.
Hey, no, he not.
I'm telling you, Antonio Daniels,
Hey, if you talk to him, like have a one-on-one with him, nah.
I'm gonna tell you, look, Antonio Daniels got a job to do, but in real life,
he not
I don't know.
That bullshit.
I don't know.
He not with that bullshit at all.
Who's the worst coach, Willie Green or Chauncey Billups? I'm gonna say Willie Green because the Raptors just always been since they're in a real rebuild.
That's the Blazers.
Bless you. Y'all boy got Ross about to be out too.
I hear a little man back there.
Because they Dame and CJ going.
Yeah. You gotta take that off.
Right. And we got Dr. Donald in the building with the 5-piece. Appreciate you, Dr. Donald. He says if we get Cooper, he's an obvious wing. How long till we move Herb?
Hey, I might be that night.
Hey, that's a part of my offseason plan. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I don't know if I see the correlation between those two things.
He probably saying that Herb clearly coming off the bench in this scenario, right? Because you got to start the number one pick.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But like Herb was probably gonna come off the bench this year. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My thing, I don't know, man. I'm to the point where I don't want to keep talking about Herb because now it's gonna look like I'm picking on him or something. But I'm just like Herb scored his first 2 points in the second half and they were free throws. So it's I don't know. I think you gotta if you find a more elite talent, you can without giving up Herb, you make Herb more useful because now he can totally dedicate himself to just being a defensive guy, but gotta rebound. You gotta do the other things that's like, you know.
That I'm glad you brought that up, and I don't want to like derail this. We can save this for the next show, but that's exactly why I think I wouldn't just move Herb is because I think he has to be paired. Like for you to really extract value, I think he has to be paired with a CJ in a trade or a Brandon. Like they for me are like a 2-piece deal to get you some, maybe even with a pick. Like you talk about getting Devin Booker.
That's my deal.
It's got to be Herb plus a CJ or plus a Brandon plus possibly even a pick to get true value back. Like I just don't want to trade Herb for a poo-poo platter, right? Or like for a second round pick. Like I would prefer, if you're gonna make a move like that, do some consolidating, package that stuff up, and go get something that makes a difference, right? Because I think what you're saying in sort of a nice way is that like Herb doesn't really make a difference, like in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, like even with these last 2 Wizards games, I didn't feel like Herb was like shutting down Jordan Poole or no shit, or I didn't feel like Kuzma was getting shut down by Herb or anything of that nature. I just feel like you gotta. What's on your iPhone? Oh, he telling us how to do the joint. Open control center.
See, now we got all kind of people in the chat. Like people know stuff.
We got real professionals.
We do this.
Yeah, we got people in the know on this show.
Yeah,
but we got doctors.
I don't underestimate these people. You got some smart people.
We got professionals. Look, we just got super chat from a doctor.
You know what?
We got Dr. 318.
Hold on. That, you know what, that deserves that deserves one of our old classics right here. People, here it is right here.
Don't settle. Go hard on them dudes. Everybody's trying to play the right way. Salute. Be aggressive.
Salute.
I'm looking at Dennis Schroeder in that clip. Dennis Schroeder's looking straight ahead. He was like, man, shut the fuck up. Shut up, coach. Shut up. Like, it's crazy. Yo, we got Dr. 318 back in the building. He said Herb, like CJ, starting to get hurt and needs a break, which can be found playing off the bench. Yeah, I mean, that's why, to me, as much as I dislike Willie Green and I dislike David Griffin, I still put a lot of the onus on the players, because it's like, dog, you gotta, even with Zion, you don't take care of your body in one way, but shout out to Theo's also best piece in the city. It's like, but some of the other guys not taking care of their bodies in the other way. It's like, you're not lifting weights at all. Like and you see that underneath the rim. You see that, in certain instances where you're just getting totally outmanned, and that's because his team is really small. Like Hawkins, Herb, Brandon Boston, Brandon Ingram, like y'all, DeJounte Murray, like these are not very physically strong players from the appearances anyway. And we got Carl Langley with the last question of the night. Y'all think Herb healthy? What y'all think, fellas?
Bro, I'm guessing you mean what happened tonight. No, that was trade tonight. I'm tripping.
Yeah, that was trade tonight. Herb had something happen with him.
He got poked in. Well, no, I think he did get like poked in the eye or like.
Oh yeah, he was on the sideline for a little bit, right?
But he came back in. You can go ahead, Lito. I personally do not think he's healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a clip of it. It ain't look good.
Yeah, I think Herb is still dealing with that shoulder injury. Like we've heard some rumors that it might, like he may consider surgery in the offseason or something. Like I think he's unquestionably not healthy though.
Lito?
Yeah, I mean, he don't look like himself. I'm sure with that type of injury though, like it takes time. I know he was out a while, but for one of them things, like you can't really, unless you having surgery on it. I mean, you just gotta let it heal.
I just don't know. I thought the injury, I thought he'd be out a little longer than it was. I don't know how much is affecting necessarily what he does, maybe the shooting, but I just don't know. Like I just don't know. It's one of those things, man. But I hope he's okay, and I hope it's nothing that does require surgery, because that you're talking about another serious surgery for another player that's a part of your core right now. So hopefully it doesn't come to that. But we got Clay. We say, is Zion ever coming back? Where you say surgery, obviously get it over. Yay, I totally agree. But I wouldn't be shocked if they was telling them don't do it right now, Herb, because we trying to, we still got a shot at this. Is Zion ever coming back? Clay said. All right, final answers for everybody. Is Zion coming back before Willie Green is fired? Ross.
No, I'm sticking up. I'm gonna die on that hill.
All right. Lito.
I'm gonna say no.
He not coming back before Willie Green gone?
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna say he's back next week. They played the Pelicans, got a back-to-back against Minnesota. Then I think they played. Well, I think they played Portland. I think he's back next week. But I could be lying. I don't know. Y'all don't be believing me. I'm high. But that's been today's show. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, man. Share the link. Pause. Share the broadcast rather. And we'll see y'all at the next game, man. Y'all be safe. Peace.